Welcome to the Boise State Esports Arena, and tonight you are joining us for Boise State's first foray into the NACE Star League in a Rocket League. We are going to see some great plays from some veteran Rocket League players as well as some new ones, as we have Hoosh. I think I see Baynock up there. Hoosh, kind of the new player to join the Broncos. So a mix of old and new looking to prove themselves. Baynock, of course, been up there many times, not even looking like he's face. He's just chilling. Also been up here a lot of times. Another veteran is Joe Tacky Chigbrow, who's joining me, your host, Jacob Jim Palmer, to call all of the action tonight. So Boise State going up against a college that we really haven't heard of, Keyano, but I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I'm sure we will get feedback nonetheless of whether that is pronounced. But I'm going to say Keyano just for right now. Boise State, tell us just a little bit about the players that we already know. I said Baynock's up there. Who else, you know?
Well, like you already mentioned, there's a lot of familiar faces, but mostly new faces in this whole game tonight. We got the Keyano players, which we aren't very experienced with, as well as Whoosh, which is very new. Whoosh is even new to me still. But the roster we're looking at so far is a pretty well-rounded team. Lions and Baynock are both pretty good at playing both ends of the field, and Baynock, especially being a veteran, he's even been here long enough that I've played on that stage with him a couple times, maybe even over a whole season. But overall, we're looking at some very well-rounded Rocket League from the roster, as I understand it, and I'm really excited to see how they adapt to the Keyano spread.
Well, no matter who Boise State is facing up against, the rules of Rocket League are tried, true, and steadfast throughout all eras of Boise State esports. It's 3v3 standard soccer round, best of 5, single elimination, and a golden goal sudden death, something the Broncos that have faced many times before. And another thing that they've heard many times before, of course, is Doc's keys to the game in Rocket League. And in Rocket League, those keys to the game are going to be to create mistakes, punish double commits, don't overstay, and bump opponents to disrupt them. It's all brought to you by Drop-In Gaming, the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. Play your favorite games to win cash and prizes through free and paid entry matches and tournaments. Whether you are new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop-In Gaming has the right games and competition for you. Now we get to see another look up there at the stage. All three members of the Bronco team chillin'. I believe that is Hoosh in the middle there. So you can see Lions and Baynock flanking him on both sides.
That's actually Lions in the middle.
Lions in the middle. I'm sorry. Hoosh off to the left. My mistake.
And then off to the right we have the tried and true Baynock. Definitely a player to watch out for the Keyano players.
Okay, so what do you think, as we're ready to start out this match, might be the most explosive thing Boise State can start out with? Like, what are they known for that can just really bowl over another team?
I think Baynock is really well known for not necessarily, he's certainly capable of some crazy flashy stuff on the offensive end, but I think he does a really good job of setting up his team in aggressive demo-like patterns or passing when he needs to. I think what I'm really looking forward to is seeing how they work together as a team in their aggressive posture. I know passing is a big thing at Boise State University for Rocket League, so I'm hoping what we see is a great kickoff play that rolls out to a teammate, and then he passes it upfield and they bang it in either which way they kind of choose.
Let's get into the match as soon as we have the players live behind us, so we're just waiting for Keyano to join the fray, and then we will bring you all of that action. So what would you say, if you're on the side of Keyano, would be the one thing you'd look to capitalize against while playing the Broncos?
I think most of all, I would look to just play a fast, scrappy Rocket League and try to cut down opportunities for them to work together. Obviously, a lot of these players, even Lions, have been playing the game with each other for a little while now, so they have a lot of team synergy, and they're going to look to play around that. So if I'm the Keyano team, I'm looking to play around passes and breaking down the plays before they're allowed to happen.
You also see it's not just the three players for Boise State up there. You also see Durtho, who is also a new addition to Boise State Rocket League. Has jumped in. He's already, given some point. I mean, he might be new, but he is insane in his play style.
Durtho is an incredibly strong player that we have picked up during the offseason, and I'm really, I haven't seen a lot of him myself personally, but I know from talking to other people that he's a very solid player, very present offensive force on the field. And so I'm really excited to see what he brings to BSU Rocket League as well. But that being said, it's hard to play down the three that we do have playing today, even with Durtho on the stage. That's an impressive team of Rocket League players, even if some of them are a little bit newer than others.
Yeah, Hoosh that you see on the left is going to be the newest addition to the Broncos, so we'll see what kind of role that he's put in. Normally, when you're trying to meld with a new team, it's always interesting to see what role they kind of place you in. With Rocket League as fast-paced a game it is, we might see some offensive and some defensive plays from Hoosh. We'll just have to see how well he melts with the Broncos. As right now, off of the bat, is just going to be some fighting in mid. Volts is going to try to get to the ball, but Hoosh is going to beat him to it. Perk with a shot back over to Volts. I like the pass, but the Broncos intercept it and push it over to get some side control.
Keyano keeps the pressure on. A good demo from Lions. Almost opens the opportunity, but is quickly knocked down. Hoosh taking a shot high, and it will find its way in. The offensive pressure from Boise State slowly breaking down the Keyano defenses. Off of bad clear from Volts, Hoosh would be in the air and find the back of the net.
That's just a perfect demo. Clearing out the goal, disrupting the defending team, and Boise State already has an early lead. Next kickoff. Not going to go in either team's favor as Vitali is looking to follow this up. Baynok's going to try to steal away from him, but Vitali is able to juke him out. Can they set up the centering pass to get the shot? Perk is just going to be disrupted by the Broncos. The ball goes wide off into the side. Vitali keeping the side control. Can he play it himself? That's a nice redirect, but just tough angle to play, and it's going to be enough to deny a goal.
Hoosh barely able to keep it out. He has a little bit of time to force the 50-50, and it will feed out and spill out to Vitali. Baynok has to keep pressure. Now he does get in the way. It almost it does find its way all the way to the back of the net. An interesting pinch all the way from the corner. Definitely a really hard read to say the least, and even harder to save. Oh, actually,
no, he actually saw it. Yeah, he did. Yeah,
it looks weird.
Threading the needle. Now Boise State, with just a minute having passed, is already up 2 in this best of 5. Looking to get their first win, get themselves to 1-0 overall match-wise. Berg is going to try to set this up, do a double tap in mid-air. It goes off to the corner. Opportunity is going to be denied by Lions. Pushes it off to the side. Volts now to rotate in. Sees his opening and is going to try to pull off what Baynok did, but Baynok's going to be back-to-back saves. What a goalie.
A couple really close opportunities for Boise State here. Very nearly found Keyano their first goal, but they've managed to keep it out so far. Baynok is finally able to find the difference and find a hole in the defenses. They get the push down a little bit further. Hoosh unable to stay in the way of Volts, and Volts will push it back to the midfield. Lions passes it, but is unable to get it to anyone else. Ends up tapping it over to Baynok, but it's intercepted by Keyano offense. And now he has to play from the corner again and start over. He does flick it out mid. He will have the pass to Hoosh to take the shot. It is high. Baynok's in the air. He takes the shot himself, finds the far corner, and Keyano is found flat-footed in the net and will extend their lead to 3 goals now for Boise State University.
Broncos show no sign of slowing down. Vitali looked like he was just caught in an awkward position there, not having the boost that he needed after he kind of turned around in goal. He's gonna head off to the side. Lions with a quick follow-up, might just try to drive it in. It goes past Perk. Volts hanging out on the back post is gonna be able to keep Keyano from being scored on again. The problem is that Keyano just really seems to be struggling to try to transition things over to offense and find their shots on goal, or at least good quality ones. I mean, Boise State, if you look at the shots on goal they only have 3, but each one has been a goal.
Oh, a good drizzle down. Almost creates the opportunity for Hoosh. Almost a good pass, but does not quite get there at hard angle. Now Vitali has the driver's seat a little bit, but it is beaten out, so Perk will take it from him. The pass to Vitali in the corner will roll across, but Lions is in the way to keep it out. Volts can intercept. He's playing it in the corner. Gets the tap off the ceiling, but Hoosh is again in the way. And now Lions gets to play it out past Perk, and it just rolls towards the net.
Lions stopping it in midfield. Volts has possession. Not going to pass to Vitali. Instead, Perk's going to rotate in. Actually looks like he fumbles it in midair. It's all enough for the Broncos to keep things from going past the midfield marker and maintain side control.
Baynok slightly beaten by Vitality, who is there to keep the pressure on a little bit longer. He goes to the pass to Lions in the midfield. It does connect, and now Lions can take to the corner. He has space. Oh, but the pinch goes the exact opposite direction. Luckily, Baynock is in the way, able to keep the safety a little longer, but the play is dead for Boise State. They have to play some defense now. Falls off the backboard. 2 players on the backboard for Boise State, and Lions will clear it out to Baynock. It does get the clear out now. Hoosh is there, able to kick it back downfield to Lions. These passing plays that we were talking about, a 4-man passing play, but not quite able to connect with the back of the net yet.
1 minute left in a tall order for Keyano to try to recover. Lions stops their play. Lets it trickle down toward Baynock. Quick shot back, over to Perk. He's unable to redirect it toward the goal. This might be an opportunity. They're trying to set it up for themselves. Bolts has to just try to beat the Broncos toward that ball. And doing so is not going to set him up in the right position. Try to get the shot. Vitali sends one up into the crossbar. It bounces off, and the Boise State still managing to keep Keyano scoreless.
Lions keeps it out a little longer. Hoosh is able to be in the way. It looks like a shot opportunity here for... Oh, it is the passing play again. The hat trick now for Baynock. I didn't even realize. But you see this 3-man passing play. It actually came from Baynock to Hoosh to Lions, back to Baynock, and down into the back of the net. Nobody there to play defense, just so misconstrued by the Boise State passing play.
Now just 15 seconds left, and the Broncos definitely look like they are going to be the ones to win this first match. Can Vitali just get 1 goal? Or Keyano maybe just try to improve morale just a little bit? It looks like they're going to probably run out of time unless Perk is able to set it up for Volt. Angle's just too awkward. Lions grounds it. And that does it for the first game. Boise State winning that in convincing fashion, 4-0.
It is interesting to look at, though, because it does seem like the side control of the total shots was actually in favor of Keyano, yet they weren't able to convert that into any offensive pressure at all as they scored 0 goals.
Well, the Idaho Army National Guard is a proud sponsor of Boise State Esports and brings you the top 5 plays at the end of every game. They invite you to become a member of their team with over 10 jobs offering a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for. Idaho Army National Guard is one of the best teams to join out there. Reach out to them on Twitch at iGuard Gaming. Now as we're ready to head into the second match, you see a quick look of the team back up on stage. Definitely has a lot good to feel about. Looks like they're just conversing with each other, exchanging a few notes. And do you think, prediction-wise, this is going to be one that we're going to see closed out 3-0?
Oh, it's really hard to say. I feel like Keyano has the bits and pieces that it takes to turn around this series, but at the end of the day, they're outpaced. Like I said, Boise State is getting a lot of these passing plays on them that don't always work out, but even when they are getting the passing plays, they're in full control of the play. If you don't cut it down early, Boise State is going to run with the game.
Well, we're going to have to see if Boise State continues to run roughshod throughout Keyano. They haven't let any goal whatsoever be brought out by the other team. You can see there, Hoosh, Baynock, and Alliance, the lineup for tonight. Brought to you by Count Identity Trust Global Network. Delivers real-time fraud prevention, account protection, enables personalized customer experiences for more than 9,000 leading brands and payment providers. Ushel definitely looks like he is fitting in well with the new team. I also like that they, kind of as he is the kind of the greenhorn, if you will, let him get the first goal. I feel like that's just a great way to be introduced to everything.
Well, I mean, it's a good start for him to say the least. But we'll have to see if they can hold on to that kind of lead going into game 2, how important it is to keep that kind of pressure. Hoosh takes a shot. Wow,
talk about first goals.
The redirect from the pass off of Baynock almost spelled disaster for Keyano super early on. Lions looking for the double tap here, is unable to connect, so instead Hoosh will have to clean up the scraps with Volt. Keeps it out a little bit longer. They have time to get it past the midline, and now we have to play a little defense. Perk passes it over to Hoosh. Instead, leaves it for Lions, who takes it off the wall. Maybe a pass for Baynock here or a solo play. Opts for the solo play instead, and does get blocked by Vitali.
He's just going to run right into Vitali, stop the ball dead in its tracks. Lions to elevate up around the corner. Where's the follow-up from the Broncos? They're actually just going to slow play it for now. So that would have been a very awkward angle to shoot at. Perk now to pass to Volts. Lions disrupting that a bit. He's going to take it away from them and drive it back across the midfield marker. Maybe try to go for a goal here, but Vitali, now with the pass back over to Volts, is going to look to clear it out.
Hoosh in the way, wants to keep pressure a little longer, is able to get stopped barely by Volts, who keeps pressure a little bit longer. Now Vitali with the pass out, long clear across the midfield line, but Baynock drops it down to a teammate. Hoosh is there to keep pressure on a little longer. Vitali bangs it back. The battle for midfield has already begun. Volts tries to win out right now, and Lions will end up having to give and just play defense in the corner. Perk takes the shot, Lions barely clears it out, and now we're playing in the corner again on the other side as Baynock taps it over to Lions.
3 minutes left, and neither team has really scored, so great job for Keyano keeping the Broncos at bay for now. They're going to have to do that a little bit longer as Baynock pushes another toward the goal, but a great read by Vitali is going to stop that. Follow-up again denied by Keyano. They definitely look to have tightened up their defense. They're now going to look to try to find their first goal, but both of them whiff in that 50-50, leaving it up to Volts to keep the play going.
5 shots already on the side of Boise State, but none of them connecting at the back of the net yet, as we're left at a 0-0 scoreline coming into the last half of this game. Hoosh is up to try to change the tide, pushes it past the midfield, maybe looks for a pass back to himself. Perk will be in the way. Volts is up now to get the big clear out, ends up passing it back to himself off the wall, which Baynock intervenes with, leaving it for Vitali, who then gives it back to Lions, and now the pressure is all on the favor of Keyano.
And they're going to be the first ones to score from way back in midfield. Actually past midfield. From downtown, they would say that one.
Did not quite connect with the ball in the midfield, and just no one quite prepared there yet. So now Keyano will find their first lead and their first goal of the series 2 games in. Hoosh wins out the kick off the Lions, but he does get disrupted, so it has to lead for Baynock. Baynock looks for the double tap, doesn't quite connect, so Lions will take the shot. Vitali barely able to make the saving play. Hoosh looks for the play off the backboard, unable to do anything else, and now Lions is in the way. Plays it back to himself in the corner, maybe looks for the flick, does get the flick. Vitali barely pops it out, and Baynock tries to keep it in the box a little longer. Gets pushed out by Vitali. All the players from Boise State on the retreat, so now the pressure is in favor of Keyano.
Yeah, it really has been Vitali, I think, that has just come alive as a defensive player for Keyano. He's going to deny it to them again. That's his 5th save of this overall round.
And again, those passing plays paying dividends for Boise State. You can see the angle pass, just a sharp shot, giving the striker plenty of time to lead and boost up to the ball here. And Hoosh takes the banging shot into the far corner. Very hard to save those if you don't cut them down early.
Now it's all tied up with 1.5 minutes left on the timer. Vitali gets the better of that kickoff. The Lions with a quick answer back. He's going to force Perk to push it over to the corner. Lions trying to clear out the goal by eliminating Volts, but Vitali still the keystone for Keyano's defense. Perk is also going to get demoed, but Vitali is just trying to solo play it toward the goal and manages to maybe set them up for another goal, but a miss by Perk. That could spell danger unless Vitali again. I mean, MVP for this team.
It looks like Boise State defense just didn't quite expect that one to be on the bar and on the way in. Hoosh just barely misread it, taps it in himself. Definitely the kind of mistakes that happen, but it has to be something you clean up if you want to stay in charge of this game as Boise State University. Just look at the accolades, by the way, for Vitali. He's almost all the way off the board already, all on his own. He's got 6 saves to his name, 2 goals, and a shot, not to mention the assist.
Boise State is going to have to try to find something to come alive. We might have counted our eggs before they hatched just a little bit too fast here, because Keyano looks like they might just reset this to an effective best of 3 by winning the second match. If Boise State can't equalize it in the next 35 seconds, can Baynock center it up? The pass to Lions, a give and go, and oh no for Keyano.
Time and time again, this is BSU's preferred way to find the back of the net. A good give and go off the backboard, a good passing play, the 1-2 into the back of the net. And that's just kind of the tried and true BSU way of playing offense. We'll see.
Oh, I was probably going to say the same thing you were going to say. This next kickoff is probably very important.
Oh, for sure. We're trying to figure out now, in these last 30 seconds, what kind of battle we're going to have in the midfield. That's the most important part, is whoever is able to get pressure first is probably going to have the better chance to find some weird demo and maybe end up winning this game. And it looks like that midfield paying dividends for Vitali as he finds a weird pinch and no BSU player quite ready for it yet.
Yeah, no one on
playoff of Baynock. Just a little bit harder to read for Lions. An unfortunate pinch will roll towards the back of the net. will put them into another position to go away with the game 2 here.
Sometimes you have these sleeper teams that just take, one game or so to warm up, and then they are a completely different team on the field, and that definitely seems to be the case for Keyano. Unless the Broncos can score in a buzzer beater, Keyano looks like they're going to take this. As long as that ball stays in the air, though, the Broncos have an outside chance. That's going to do it, though. Now Keyano evening things up. Now it's 1-1 in the overall. It seems like whichever team has the less shots on goal thus far is the one who's been winning the games. Kind of an odd occurrence, but it's happening for this match. So overall, Taki, I want to ask you, what do you think was the biggest difference for Keyano in that second game that got them the win?
Honestly, I really was impressed with how Vitaly stepped up. It felt like he was kind of everywhere on BSU. It wasn't just their defensive kind of pain. He was also in the offensive end, making plays happen, forcing opportunities, making mistakes. So I'd say Vitaly is probably the guy to watch out for if you're BSU right now. And if you're Keyano, that's the guy who you're going to play around probably going into this game 3.
Yeah, a lot more of a spotlight is going to be placed on him for sure. If I'm trying to remember, it's probably around 6 or 7 saves was in his activity feed. I mean, his feed was almost all saves, which it showed Boise State was definitely trying to set themselves up for things. But just the defense, the Keyano let hardly anything get by them, and that's paying dividends. And now we've essentially reset it to a best of 3.
Yep. Right back to that, the tried and true method of esports towers playing series is taking the best of 5. Let's make it a best of 3. That's what we're comfortable with, and now we'll try it. But we'll see how that plays out for Keyano and Boise State now. If they kind of are able to adapt, or if they're just going to try to go back to their original game plan to play it a little cleaner.
Bounce off the wall from Baynock is actually just going to set it up for Perk, who gets a shot on goal. Hoosh is going to be there with the save. Already, the Broncos looking like they're in a bit of danger, and again, Volts now with the first goal.
Looks like what happened here is just
a
good ball for Vitaly. Again, Vitaly all over BSU.
That's why it's one of Doc's keys to the game.
Oh yeah, you got to look for those bumps. Those are bumps that even Boise State was looking for in game 1 and a little bit in game 2. Looks like the playstyle has kind of changed since then. Definitely just something you have to watch out for, something you have plenty of time to adjust to now that we only have 4 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock. And a fantastic shot from Hoosh, barely blocked by Vitaly, a good angle from the corner. However, it will not work quite yet. They have to play a little more defense in order to find their way out.
Vitaly tries to set it up for another goal. Lions to rush in. Going to get played around in the corner. Boise State with the pass back to Baynock, who's going to play it off the wall. Vitaly elevates, gets a tap on it. Just one touch, but it's might be enough actually to clear it. Hoosh now looking to stop Perk from making the play, plays it under him, but Volts is the backup to keep the offense going for Keyano.
Pinch over Baynock is cleared by Lions. Have to have some follow-up here soon, otherwise Vitaly will keep it in the end a little longer. Hoosh leaves it for Lions, takes it up the wall, beats out one, only has one more to beat before he's past the first line, and he is unable to get so. Baynock taps it over one, playing around in the corner right now. Perk is able to keep the pressure a little longer, and a redirect from Vitaly would have probably gone in if not for the BSU defense. Keeps it out a little longer. Lions playing defense in the back end of the field, but Hoosh will end up pushing up anyway. Baynock takes the tap towards the back wall. Volt has to be in the way, and he is. A shot opportunity from Lions, and he just doesn't quite connect, so Hoosh has to play it a little slow to the corner. Have to recreate an offensive opportunity here as they have to reset using Perk as a defensive man.
Baynock doesn't get the tap he wanted. That leaves Volts with the play and the opening, and Baynock out of nowhere is going to be the savior for Boise State. It looked like that goal was surely open. Hoosh and Lions going to rotate back, not get too far ahead of their skis. Hoosh gets demoed in the process, so Perk is going to try to set it up, maybe air dribble it a bit. Leave it for Volts. Plays off the wall. Baynock with one touch. Might be enough, along with that demo, actually, to clear it out for the Broncos, and tries to just dribble it in himself. But he's not going to find it, but a great effort.
Lions looking at the solo play. Does get beat out by Perk and Volts simultaneously. Vitaly does get the low 50, but it will go high over his net. Volts is able to keep it out a little bit longer. Lions takes the shot. Looks like nobody is quite there. Vitaly is just a little bit off. A weird bounce off the sidewall will give an opportunity here for Lions. Takes a begging shot towards the center of the net. No one quite there to respond.
Vitaly trying to be kind of the familiar save that we've seen. It was just a little bit too late in that attempt. So now it's tied back 1-1, and it really seems like that 4-0 that we saw at the beginning was really just kind of a misnomer. Based on how Keyano's been doing in the last 2 games, this feels like one of those matches that every single game is going to be decided by just 1 goal.
It's going to be pretty tight. Both these games have looked very different from game 1, where we have the 0-4 lead in favor of Boise State University. But every goal seems really hard fought for at this point in the game. Vitaly passing the ball, but is cut off by Baynock. Hurt. Tries to battle for it in the mid, but is unable to do anything else. The Lions will battle a little bit longer, push into the corner, giving him an offensive opportunity. Passes to Hoosh. Is a little high. Burt passes it back, but Lions is still in the way. He pushes it up, is unable to do anything else, and it will cross the midline now with BSU playing defense.
Hoosh hanging out in the goal, but gets played around by Vitaly to put Keyano back in the lead.
No connection from the BSU defense off of this pitch will lead to an opportunity here for Vitaly to push his accolades even further and find the back of the net. And with that being said, Keyano now leads again 2-1 over Boise State with 1:20 left on the clock. Still plenty of time. We saw a lot of goals scored in the last few seconds of last game. So the fireworks have yet to begin yet.
Vitaly stopping things in midfield, leaving the Broncos still fighting for it. Lions with the pass back to Baynock. Now a follow-up from Lions, trying to gauge where Vitaly was going, but unable to. He's such a presence defensively that the Broncos are having a hard time getting past Keyano right now. As Baynock leaps in, and just a quick, easy shot ties it up again.
You can see how Baynock really orchestrated himself to find that open corner. He pushed himself to the right side of the ball and took a powerful shot to the far corner. No defender there. Vitaly caught completely off guard, and that will push them back to a 0-0 scoreline coming into the last minute of game 3.
Less than a minute to decide who's going to win this and move on to match point. Lions to try to set it up off the backboard, plays it, the follow-up with Hoosh, and it's just off of the post, but Boise State trying furiously to get the goal as Vitaly is going to be going on the counterattack. Going to leave it for Perk and Volks. Perk gets the first touch on it. The pass back over to Baynock is going to be stopped in midfield, and Keyano is fighting scrappily with Boise State for the ball. Might set it up themselves, and Baynock, oh, what a pass over to the side. We might be going over into overtime.
Hoosh bangs it upfield, takes the shot himself from the midfield line, but Vitaly is in the way. Keeps it a little bit longer, playing it slow to his own advantages. Now looking for the solo play, but is beat out by Lions. The pressure is in favor of Boise State coming in the last 10 seconds. Bolts is just trying to kill time, but Hoosh won't let him. Plays it off the sidewall. Baynock is able to keep it up, but now it's not looking so good for Boise State, and they drop it down. We're going to an overtime, our first overtime of the series. What a great way to start off this best of 3.
Some teams can have a dynamic all their own when they're placed into overtime. It's just something is lit up for them, so we'll find out what team that kind of applies for. We're about 15 seconds into this overtime. Boise State with all of the pressure now currently. Hoosh is going to try to rotate back along with Baynock. He comes back in with another shot towards Keyano's goal. Lions to ground it to Baynock. They see the play, the crossbar, and Vitaly are going to be a tag team to keep the Broncos from scoring.
Hoosh holding on to it for just a second, tries to get past Vitaly, does get the 50-50 past him for the slight outplay. It is mid, but nobody's there. Baynock almost finds the angle, but is barely blocked by Keyano defense. Lions has to keep pressure a little bit longer, gets the pinch pass one, but Perk is still in the way, bangs it downfield, but Hoosh is going to try to drop it down, and he does. Perk patiently waits to beat out Lions, and now the play is in the corner. A pass from Vitaly to Perk could be a shot, but Hoosh is still in the way. And now the play diffuses, and the battle for midfield is about to begin again, but this time Boise State wins out. Looking for an opportunity of their own again, looking to pay up on the missed goal from earlier. Hoosh barely keeps it out. The play is still alive, and Hoosh keeps with it. Tap mid, Lions finally able to keep it out a little bit longer. We transfer pressure once more.
Now as we're past 1 minute in overtime, the stress can get to you, but Boise State is holding steadfast, keeping the side control as Hoosh gets a tap to play, try to play it around Volts, but Volts is keeping the Broncos at bay. Actually have a Rule 1 being brought up onto the field as well. So now in 2v2 overtime, I suppose.
Yeah, we're about to see a very different game. Rocket League about to be played here. Bastard Bolts is quickly shut down by Lions. He has to follow it up himself because he doesn't have a teammate. Does get the demo. That actually diffuses in all the right ways. Now Hoosh just has to pop it out a little bit longer. Has to play it a little slow. Passes it back for Vitaly. They're just resetting the play, looking for a play to work together on. And instead, Hoosh will bang it downfield over the Lions. Task pass one. Only one defender at net now. Lions has to beat one person. He doesn't. Bolts will take the ball. Hoosh playing a little bit of shadow defense, is able to keep it out a little bit longer, passes it back to his currently AFK teammate Baynock, who then hits it back away towards Vitaly.
Who's going to do better in the 2v2 scenario? Volts trying to get a shot on goal, but it's just stopped by the Broncos. Now Lions on the counterattack is not going to be able to pick up the boost, though, so that's the prime and crucial resources. Hoosh tries to get it under Volts, but Volts still saving, and now Hoosh rotating back. This could be dangerous, but a weird tap there. It's right in front of the goal, right off the crossbar, and just barely the Broncos are clinging to life.
Tap mid. Lions does have pressure on this. Pushes it towards the corner.
Oh, they break it up.
Oh, they broke it up. Finally, the game will resume as normal. 3 minutes into this overtime now. Baynock bangs it all the way down the field. Perk has to play a little defense. He misses. That could have been horrible to have this late in the game. But oh, it's a little high again. Lions barely not able to put it in himself. Once again, a high shot from Boise State, barely out again. 4 high shots from Boise State, barely pushed out. And now Vitaly is finally breathing a very healthy, relaxed sigh as he's able to get onto the other end of the field.
We are over 3 minutes into this overtime. One of the longer overtimes I've seen in quite a while. Boise State is currently trying to find the clear to maybe get them the winning goal. Volts is going to be hanging out in midfield, gets a touch on it. It's set up for Volts, who plays it himself, the follow-up to win. And Keyano has the match point now.
No connect on the clear from Lions will lead to a harsh opportunity for Hoosh to try to protect, and it ends up working out in favor of Keyano, who will come away with a 2-1 lead in the series now.
All right, so if we're talking about the team right now, because you've been in this position, look, wow, that's almost about as even as you can get it.
Yeah, perfect. So, I mean, 48 to 52, 48 to 52, and 48 to 52. Barely everything on the side of Boise State. I mean, you can argue that using more boost is not always the best thing to be on the side of, but you never really know. When it's that close, it's really not that different, truth be told. It's about, you know, a few hundreds.
It's about that one play that you're searching for in overtime.
Yeah, exactly. But at the end of the day, I think we've seen a big shift in the pressure since game one.
Yeah.
Between Keyano and Boise State, and I think the biggest thing that's ringing true for me is that the creativity from Boise State University is getting shut down a little bit early on the offensive end, and especially at the midfield line, that feels like they're stuck in their end a lot more than they were before. And the big thing that I have to look forward to now is probably just trying to look for a little bit more bumps and just kind of create mistakes where they're not necessarily always present, especially on Vitaly, who's kind of running the midfield a little bit right now in terms of Keyano's team.
Well, we'll see if Boise State can shut down that player, because he is kind of the star player for Keyano. But the other players, too, I mean, Volts and Perk have made some great plays of themselves, so you can't count out any member of Keyano as they head into round 4. This is the match point for Keyano. They can win things here, go home with a feather in their cap, and proud that they were able to recover so beautifully.
Perk keeping pressure, does beat out Baynock, but Hoosh is there first, so Vitaly will have to stay back a little longer. Pass from Baynock to Hoosh, looks for a play of his own, looks to go low, but is beaten out by Perk. It'll go against the wall. Baynock takes the shot, it's high, Bolts is able to keep it out, and Hoosh barely not able to get the consolation demo on the defender. Playing it slow in the corner for Keyano. They take a big banging shot all the way across the midline, but Lions will shut it down early. Baynock will shut down the response early as well, and Hoosh is able to play it across the first end of the field. Bolts breaks it out, keeps it at the midfield a little bit longer. Lions back down to himself, passes it against the wall. Hoosh pushes it against the wall himself, looks to the pass, but is unable to connect. And now Perk has all the time he needs to defuse the play.
Boise State hanging back a bit to pick up some boost before they make their next journey. Bolt's credited with the save, but it doesn't turn into a clear. But Vitaly, the man when you need him, he clears it out for Keyano. And his Bolts is able to deny the clear from Boise State. So now the question is, are they able to set up to get back in the lead? Vitaly has it around the corner, trying to juke out two players, unable to get it. Now Bolt's on the rebound, and the follow-up from Perk just bounces into Hoosh, the last defender for Boise State, and it's still kept at 0-0.
Pass off the wall. It's still in dangerous territory for Boise State. He's trying to take the negative angle, but is unable to get it. Baynock flicks it out at the last second. It is against the other corner now as the battle for control has begun. Baynock will push it out and keep the pressure on the side of Keyano for a little longer. Goal scoring opportunity here, barely shut down by Vitaly again. And now Baynock has to find a way to make a play off the wall here. Ends up just playing it slow and leaving it for Hoosh, who hits it off the wall himself. Baynock plays it back to himself off the wall. Perk looking to get past the midfield line, but has one player to deal with, and it's named Lyons. He does get beat, looks for the pass back to himself, doesn't get much of it. So now Hoosh tries to look for play for Baynock, doesn't make anything of it. A little bit of a weird miss from both teams there, and neither team has been able to get pressure quite yet.
Keyano moving in with the clear, deflected partially by Hoosh. Bolts tries to center it. The ball has way too much altitude, but almost kind of just trickled in there, kind of waterfalled down into the goal. Boise State is going to get away with that one. Try to make a play of their own. Vitaly still managing to be the key spoiler for Boise State's plans.
Baynock looking for the pass mid. Does get it over to Lyons. It is high. Bolts will be able to keep it out a little longer. Hoosh barely beat out. Baynock will keep the pressure on, gets a touch back to himself, so it will spill out mid to Lyons. Just trying to keep the play in the box for a little longer until they get an opportunity to take the shot. But Perk is just shutting it down. Hoosh looks to the play off the ball back to his teammate. Baynock will pass it back to Hoosh, who will pass it high. Here's an opportunity for Lyons, and he's there, but it will be blocked by Keyano defense. Now they have to recreate a play altogether as Bolts moves down the field and tries to bump as many defenders as he possibly can.
Baynock to let this, trying to ground it. Gonna leave it for Lyons. Problem for Baynock is that he's in an awkward position with no boost, so he has to go off to the side to get some. Gives enough time for Vitaly to hit a long bomber back toward midfield. Hoosh now is gonna get a double tap in mid-air to leave it for Baynock. He's unable to get the shot on goal, but Lyons is gonna try now, giving it to Baynock. A double commit on the save for Keyano, but it's still enough to keep Boise State scoreless.
We are almost at 1 minute left on the clock now with a 0-0 scoreline from both teams. Oh, and I eat my words as soon as I say it. Gas was first, but Baynock will find the back of the net and break the silence in this game finally off of a pass from Lyons. It will chip up into the air, and Baynock will be there just in time to catch Perk off guard and take the shot into the middle of the net, pushing Boise State to a very comfortable position going into the last minute and 4 seconds of this game.
Well, the games have been equalized pretty frequently throughout this match, but it's mainly been Boise State doing the equalizing, so we'll see how Keyano now does. On the back foot, Baynock looking to make it a 2-goal lead. Hoosh also trying to follow up. The Bolts just able to get the tap he wants, but it's not going to turn into a clear, so Perk and Vitaly have to plan out their next move. They're going to try to play it around Baynock. Goes back to Vitaly with the pass over to Perk, intercepted by Hoosh. Now Boise State is playing a bit of defense, but they still have a narrow lead. Maybe a 2-goal lead. Oh, just a nice attempt by Lyons is not going to find a goal.
Perk trying to get out of his end, trying to create one more opportunity for his team. Does get beat by Hoosh. Bolts is looking for a play of his own. Maybe looks for a flick, takes it low, doesn't want to get anything else. A demo to Hoosh made it scary for a second there, but Baynock is able to find a way out. Hoosh gets a revenge clear onto the other side of the field. The pressure with the clock winding down is all on Keyano to find a way to keep it out of a game 5, but it's just not happening. Bolts has to take it towards the back wall, but is not able to do anything else, and Baynock will find the easy clear, put the ball down, and we will be heading to a game 5 in a game versus Boise State University and Keyano.
Boise State had a tall task, but they sure met it. A 1-0 victory. But if you look at the stats a little bit closer, Boise State was in pretty good control of the ball for the majority of that match. Had the advantage in side control, going past 60%. So now it comes down to the final game. And if the last games are anything to judge by, it's going to be decided by just 1 goal.
I mean, yeah, even the high-scoring games, I mean, barring game one being kind of a weird outlier, even the high-scoring games have all been decided between about 1 goal, I'm pretty sure. I don't think we've had a 2-goal game or anything near that outside of the first game. So, yeah, it's going to be a close game. I'm really excited. I hope we take it all the way to an overtime. Not too long, but, you know, make us work for it a little bit.
Not as long as it was, because, it was about 4 minutes last time.
Keep the rule ones to the free play zone a little bit.
Yeah, that's the thing. I have to. That's one thing I was kind of thinking about our head coaches. You know, it's like it's an actual competitive game, and I mean, you gotta. I don't know if you use the term respect, because I don't want to do anything that kind of encourages it, but you got to be in awe, sort of the gentleman's agreement there.
Yeah.
It's such a crucial time in overtime. I was thinking, man, the Rule 1 comes out, and all of the coaches for Boise State start to perspire just a little bit harder.
Oh, I imagine for Keyano as well. It's probably, I think, one of the only gentleman rule I've ever seen in any video game that gets stuck to as hard as it does.
Yeah, no one wants to be on the bad side of it. But sometimes if you see the opening, you have to make the play, and Boise State is trying to make that play as they look after the first shot on goal, but a weird bounce off of Hoosh is going to keep things from... yeah, this is kind of weird almost. Something's a little off in this start.
Ooh. That was an easy scoring opportunity for Keyano, but Baynock barely pool-shotted the Keyano offender into taking a bad shot, and they will get away with murder in that situation. Lions able to find the clear here. Baynock is kind of scrambling, trying to keep it in the corner a little bit longer. A bad 50-50 Keyano forced him into a bad spot. Now Hoosh is able to push it towards the sidewall. It's not safe yet, though. Vitali just trying to play it slow. Will leave it out for Lions. Almost a dangerous opportunity there, but Baynock has the ball to himself now. Perk will take it. Does get beat by Baynock. Hoosh has the clear now. Maybe pass back to himself. He does get it, keeps it to himself. Up past Vitali, past one, doesn't get past the second. And now the play will go back to the Boise State left or right-hand corner. And looks like that's where we're going to play most of the first minute of this game.
Oh, a breakaway shot onto the backboard as the follow-up there. Volts just manages to beat Boise State, but Baynock sees his opportunity to score and is going to put Boise State in the early lead.
And this is exactly what I've been saying. Baynock has been a premier striker in this series so far, and he's not doing anything necessarily too fancy, but he's doing a really good job making sure he gets powerful shots at the hardest spots to save in the net. Very impressive shooting from Baynock coming into this game 5.
Lions beats Keyano in that kickoff, push it off into their corner. Baynock and Perk are going to ping-pong it back toward each other. That could be a crucial demo onto Hoosh, who just now respawns. Looks like Boise State is going to get away with that one. Maybe even better than get away. How about another goal in? Oh, I thought they had that, but Boots again is the one to beat them to it.
Hoosh able to keep it out. The play is now in favor of Keyano. They have the pressure, but nothing to make of it quite yet. Bolt looks from past mid, doesn't really make anything of it. Lions looking for a play of his own, has a little bit of space, passes it to Baynock, takes the shot, and a double fit from Keyano will keep it out, thank goodness. Otherwise, it would have been a disaster. Pass all the way across the end from Hoosh to Baynock. Won't work out. Lions able to take a shot towards the net himself, and they will wait it out at the midfield line.
Lions with an elevate. The shot is wide, however. Vitali is able to successfully play it around Baynock. Now leaves it for Perk. They cross midfield. A nice flick over toward the goal. Lions is the one to get the clear, and look at that disruption!
Yeah, that bump from Keyano, from Perk specifically here, paying dividends. Who's just not quite ready for it.
That is so picture perfect.
He gets taken out. That is the clip to show off for how that play is done in any other scenario. And this is a spicy game, like we said before. It's a 1-goal game, now a 0-goal game. Game 5 looking pretty back and forth so far.
Hoosh runs right into Volts. Now Baynock rotates in, is able to steal their boost away from them. Lions answers that back in mid, back over to Baynock. But Volts diffuses the situation before another follow-up can be brought up by the Broncos. Vitali with another save for Keyano. Tied 1-1. Just about a minute and a half left.
You can see from earlier with Bush and I believe Burke, the gentleman's agreement only goes so far. Game 5.
Yeah.
Deciding
this
scenario.
wouldn't be the time.
Nobody wants to bet like that. Nobody's that confident in their own teammates apparently. But Lions is able to keep pressure. Oh, maybe a good demo. Can't even see with that smoke screen, but Ush is just barely not able to put it in. Perk's buying a little bit of time, just trying to play the midfield line, but Lions will beat him out. The opportunity is now there. The beat onto Volts gives opportunity for Baynok to push the ball down the field. Tally has to make a save in a way that would leave it for Lions. Just like that, he'll push it towards the back of the net. Perks beaten out by Lions. Hoosh takes the pass off the wall. This is dangerous, but Volts is in the way, and no defender is able to do anything else with it, so Baynok will cut in and take pressure away from them. Lions looking for a shot, shoots it low and towards the far corner. A double commit from Keyano will keep it out. Dangerous territory to say the least. They haven't had pressure very long. It's been a while now. A minute winding down on the clock. They have to be feeling a little bit stressed out. Bush is going to cut and look for an opportunity maybe for a pass or a solo play. Looks like the flip reset. Nope, the air dribble. And he will force it all the way through. It's so hard to read from that angle as a defender. You can't see what he's going for. He's above him, and now he takes the ball all the way below him, wins the 50-50, pushes it underneath, and that will push Boise State into a very comfortable position going into the last 34 seconds of this game.
Probably one of the most important kickoffs here in favor of Keyano. Bolts might be trying to set something up. Vitaly is now going to beat Hoosh to the ball. Hoosh is waiting. He gets played under, though. That's a dangerous spot for the Broncos. Burke gets it in!
Another 50-50 will push this into a 2-2 goal scoreline. And it looks like Vitaly just pushes past one. Perk, and a bad clear, or just not necessarily a lot you can do there, to be honest. The ball's kind of rolling right at him. He has to roll into it or try to tap it above. And that'll put them into kind of a precarious situation, right back where they used to be. Both teams being put in awkward positions from really weird 50-50s in front of the net. Definitely something to look out for if you have to head into overtime against either of these teams.
Are we heading into overtime, or will either team find a buzzer beater? It might be the case, but they read it from Kirk, and two Broncos just go slamming right into him to drive it to overtime. What a way to decide this match.
Lions leaves it out for Baynok, who does get the beat past one. Volts is the only one that's able to be in the way. He has to get a good clear here, but he doesn't. Baynok can take the shot. Now Lions can take the shot to the corner. And the setup from Baynok will push Boise State into the winning zone of this best of 5. A very intense game to say the least. A great display from both teams. And that was an exciting series.
That was such a turnaround, because I was thinking Keyano they were kind of out for blood in the beginning there.
Oh, definitely.
They won the kickoff, immediately followed that up with a demo. I mean, they were playing to win, but the Broncos in that crucial 4 seconds managed to recover and get the goal. Not even 10 seconds into overtime. Boise State is going to win that match. But hey, great job by Keyano. That turned into a very close, very exciting match, and all the props to them for, after a rough first game, making this about as exciting as it could be. Congratulations to the Broncos for winning that. Of course, if you want to join the Broncos, we are always accepting new talent in Overwatch, Rocket League, Valorant, and all the other games that we host here, along with production roles. Top talent, along with good grades and eligibility, can improve your chances of getting onto the team as well. So go to boisestate.edu/esports for more information. So now, as we look back, do you have kind of an MVP nomination, if you will?
I mean, I got to give it to Baynok.
Yeah.
Baynok, again, one of those most consistent and powerful offensive men for the Boise State team. Very consistent in what he does and making opportunities. And I don't know, he's my guy.
We're going to have options presented to us. Now, it's kind of already a given in Rocket League who the 3 options are going to be, unless production decides to maybe get a bit spicy and maybe give Vitaly a nod, because Vitaly was such a key player for Keyano as well, but it looks like things are playing out in the script that we expect. One of these 3 players is going to be player of the game. I know, shocking revelation, it's going to be one of our 3, but that's who we've got to choose from. I would say Hoosh is also kind of a contender for player of the game. I mean, when he did score, they were clutch goals.
Yeah, and it looks like it's going to be all 3 BSU players. And you can also see by looking at the lineup that Baynok maybe did not get the memo for the team haircut.
No, he didn't. Yeah, we don't have total team synergy here, and this is.
Well, we don't have
team synergy in the in the jerseys as well. So it's kind of like there's one thing different between all three of them, and we can't have total conformity. It just drives your organizational impulses a little bit crazy. But now the player of the game is going to be given to Baynox. Looks like you're right, Tacky.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to go wrong picking any of those three players, but Baynox really showed up on the offensive end today. Every time he was given an opportunity, he was either made them really scramble for it, or he made sure he found the back of the net the whole 9 yards. And well played from Baynox and Boise State University, and a great showing from Keyano to push all the way to Game 5, a very scary series to say the least for both teams.
Well, Baynox is your player of the game. It's brought to you by Idaho Central Credit Union, who believes a great player makes a team more successful, just like Idaho Central is helping members achieve financial success. Baynox is your ICCU player of the game for this match tonight. Well, looking back at everything, Tacky, do you have any final thoughts that you want to close out this game with?
It's really exciting to see Rocket League from Boise State University. I don't get to see it as often. I'm usually on the esports tower games, which are equally as exciting, but seeing my own friends play and play these really awesome Game 5s that really make your heart pump towards the end of the game, it's really fun to watch, and I'm excited to
the games are exciting enough on their own, but throwing a Rule 1 in there might make it too exciting for my general well-being.
A Game 5 or 1 if they didn't break that, dude?
Oh, my goodness. That would have been insane.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, that's dedication there if that had happened. But anyway, that's going to do it for this game, and we'll leave you with the top 5 plays of the game from it, brought to you again by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your impressive critical thinking skills into real time. More than 10 jobs offering a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for. The Idaho Army National Guard is one of the best teams to join out there. Reach out to them on Twitch at iGuard Gaming. But that does it for this game. Enjoy your top 5 plays.
Lions keeps it out a little longer. Hush is able to be in the way. It looks like a shot opportunity here for... Oh, it is the passing play again. It's a hat trick now for Baynox. I didn't even realize. But you see it's 3-man passing play. It actually came from Baynox to Hush to Lions, back to Baynox, and down into the back of the net. Then gives it back to Lions, and now the pressure is all on favor of Keyano.
And they're going to be the first ones to score from way back in midfield. Actually past midfield. From downtown, they would say that one.
Did not quite connect the ball to midfield, and just no one quite fair time for 50-50, and it will feed out and spill out to Vitali. Baynox has to keep pressure now. He does get in the way. They're almost find. Oh, it does find his way all the way to the back of the net. An interesting pitch all the way from the corner. Definitely a really hard read to say the least, and even harder to save. Oh, actually,
no, he actually saw it. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, it looks important hard. Whoever is able to get pressure first is probably going to have the better chance to find some weird demo and maybe end up winning this game. And it looks like that midfield paying dividends for Vitali as he finds a weird pinch, and Nobi, as you player, quite ready for it yet.
Yeah, no,
playoff of Baynox. Just a little bit harder to reach for Lions. An unfortunate pinch will roll
for Keyano. He's going to deny it to them again. That's his 5th save of this overall round.
And again, those passing plays paying dividends for Boise State. You can see the angle pass, just a sharp shot, giving the striker plenty of time to lead, boost up to the ball here, and Hush takes the